Hey, welcome everybody for my role-playing channel and another ramble about something I've discovered about myself recently. I don't like comic books. Well, they're not that bad, and I must admit I gain some pleasure by reading some of it, but in general I'm not a big fan of comic books. I'm not a big fan of mangas either, but it's another type of reading. But comic books, and for most of my life, let's say 45 years of my life, I always tried to convince myself that I was liking that, and in different parts of my life, yeah, I've made efforts, and I've bought comic books, and I've borrowed them, and I had some series I was fond of. When I was a toddler, I was offered but not action figures. It was figures of Marvel heroes. That was my first meeting with them, and I thought that they were pretty cool. And there was those animated series on the TV, the old ones, the old Spider-Mans and all that, and Batman, with Adam West. So I felt that it was pretty cool, and we were playing superheroes in the yards, in the backyard. So I'd say my love for superheroes, because I love them, comes pretty much from these memories and my interpretation and movies and animated series. The first time I saw Superman with Christopher Reeves, I fell in love with it. When Batman came out with Michael Keaton, I was amazed. And I really enjoyed the Marvel series recently, yeah. But the original format, I like the way they are drawn, the effect it has on the eyes. But reading them, I kind of not enjoying this. And I tried to, at some points, I'm a big fan of Star Wars. At some point I was a big fan, and I was buying the Dark Empire comics and was enthusiastic about that. But looking back at it, wasn't that good. And I'm a big fan of Star Trek and all of that, and superheroes in general. I was trying to find a superhero that was special and that had good stories about that, but it's not my kind of favorite reading. I find it hard to read comic books. Now, what does it have to do with role-playing games? Like I said, I love superheroes. And the first superhero game I've met was Marvel Superheroes. TSR. I was 13 years old. It was way back. Well, when I began to play Marvel Superheroes and I was into it, I was interested in reading comics, and I was reading them. Looking back at it, well, I didn't enjoy it that much, but I felt that it was important to read some because I wanted to get into the mood. But the best part was to play Marvel Superheroes, having superheroes doing all sorts of crazy stuff. It was the best part of it. So I do love superheroes role-playing game. I got some of them in my collection. I used to have Marvel Superheroes and the DC superhero role-playing game from, I think it was Mayfair Games. I never had the chance to play it. Right now in my shelf I have a Savage Worlds Companion to play superheroes. I have Phase Rip, which is a retro clone of the Marvel Superheroes game that I really enjoy. I have a game called Super 6, which is a game made by a friend. It's in French. I've played a game called Super Click, and I have all sorts of tools to make superhero gaming. I could do that. I'm looking forward maybe to get back to Phase Rip someday, maybe, or try something else. I have been suggested some names, so it might be a good idea. I love superheroes. I love to play them. I love them in movies. I love them in my childhood memories. I think they are pretty cool. They have a lot of stories to tell and lots of good adventures. But reading comics, I felt that I'm a heretic because I don't enjoy the original source of stories about superheroes. Yeah. So yeah, that's something I wanted to share. I kind of found out about this recently. Okay, in order to make me get into superheroic reading, I got to my favorite comic store. By the way, that comic store was owned by someone, used to be owned. He sold it recently. He took his retirement. He took his retirement, but he was in when he first opened. He was near the college I was in, the music college I was in, and he was a big music fan. That guy, you know, saw the first time Genesis came in America. It was in Quebec province. It was in a town called Sherbrooke, into a small sport room. Yes, and with all the thing, you know, Peter Gabriel with all his costumes and all of that, the big progressive era. He had pictures of that. Was a big progressive prog rock fan, as I did, so we really connected. And I was buying a lot of comics back then because I wanted to encourage a guy, but I wasn't enjoying reading them. Looking back at it, and recently, yeah, the last time I've bought something from him, his store. It's not his store anymore. Like I said, he took his retirement, so I don't feel as much obliged to buy something. But nevertheless, I've bought a kind of a anthology of Cyberforce. Okay, I wanted to read something that was not Marvel verse or DC verse. I wanted to get some new superheroes who I've never heard of and get on with it. And I think I've only read 30 pages, and I closed the book by saying, well, I did not enjoy this. Like I said, I have a hard time reading that. It's not the way I like comics to be. Okay, it's just a matter of taste. Okay, when it comes to that kind of reading, I prefer European graphic novels. I prefer their way to tell stories rather than that, which I don't know how to say it. It's just that, yeah, I'm an heretic. Okay, I love superheroes, but the original medium where they are presented, well, I'm not enjoying this. So I just wanted to share something. So yeah, throw tomatoes at me, comic book fans. Yeah, that's what I had to say today. So François Letarte for my role-playing channel, and up to next time, I hope you have as much fun in your life as in your games. Goodbye.